I'm Elliott. I own Only Here For You. Only Here For You is a tattoo shop, but it's also an umbrella for everything that we love. Music, art, print, it's endless. Only Here For You is like endless. This show is basically a show of artists who have contributed to me as a creative person, contributed to my shop, contributed to Only Here For You. Everyone involved are people who have inspired, who are like innately creative, and that's what it's about, being creative. And that's what Only Here For You is about. I just want people to be creative and inspire people to be.
Okay, great.
Yeah, is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Let's do this. How about you tell me about some of the pieces that you put up in the show?
Okay. Okay, first piece, this is by my mentor, Delphine Noistoy. Delphine taught me everything about tattoo, and she taught me how to tattoo. I was her apprentice for 3 years. She means the fucking world to me. Absolute best. This piece is by a guy, Caleb Kilby. He tattooed me when I was 18 years old. He still tattoos me. His style's changed a lot, but Caleb has always been a huge inspiration to me. He's one person that kind of takes the tattoo world into like more fine art world. And again, one of my teachers, Gordo Letters from Portugal. During my apprenticeship, he worked at the shop I apprenticed at, Lace Maker Sweatshop, and he taught me everything as well. These two, probably my favorite tattooer in the world, Thomas Hooper. Thomas did my back piece. Thomas tattooed my back. But probably one of my favorite tattoos in the world. I found Thomas's work when I was probably about 15, and still, he blows my mind every time I see his work. One of my favorite tattoos in the world, my friend Connor. He tattoos in my shop. CW Tattoos, fucking Don. And basically, these two are by my best friend James and my friend Tash. And these...
James runs the shop with you, right?
Yeah, James runs the shop with me. He does everything. He makes all this shit happen. And they hang out at the shop and they take photos. So this is a collection of photos that they took from basically shop hangs. And the best thing about my shop and owning a shop is the ability that we have nights like this. We drink beers, we get pizza, we paint, listen to music, talk about tattooing, obsess over tattooing, and basically tattoo each other every night. I know every point, I know every client. This is when I got my throat tattooed by Delphine at the shop. It's when I tattooed with my friend Paul. But these photographs, they made me emotional because like the shop is so important to me, and like truly the best thing about the shop is these nights.
And how do you know James?
I've known James from Wales. We're both Welsh, but James, I do all the artwork for his band Crows, and James basically brought me up in London. He introduced me to all his friends who are now my best friends. He introduced me to London music. He took me out to like venues. He took me out to like, he helped me get jobs. He helped me get pub jobs, and now we do the shop together. But James is truly one of the most important people in my life.
You and James started the shop together, right?
Yeah, so me and James started the shop. The shop used to be called the Lace Maker Sweatshop, and that's where I worked for almost 7 years. I did my apprenticeship there under Delphine Noistoy and Mimi CQ. And then I basically took over the lease and made Only Here For You. Lace Maker Sweatshop was my home for so many years. It was my everyday, and it was the most important place in my life. So it's nice to have the same spot, but make it a bit my own, but it still has the same magic as the lace makers. Delphine made the lace makers for people like us, and I want to continue that, basically.
And what would you say is your favorite piece here in the shop?
One of my favorite pieces is this piece. So when I was 13, I started working in tattoo shops. My mum was heavily tattooed. I was obsessed with tattooing. This is my friend John, who owns Glow Tattoo in Llanidloes. John gave me my first job at a tattoo shop. John gave me so much energy to become a tattooer. John, where we're from, tattooing isn't this. Tattooing is so small. But me and John like bonded and like fell in love with each other from our love for tattooing. So this is one of my favorite pieces because this is mid Wales and this is like my early days, and John is such an incredible artist. He runs a shop, he brings London tattooing to Llandudlwys, to mid Wales, to the heart of mid Wales.
And the difference between like tattooing like in Wales and here, like the scale is so much bigger here in London, right? So
hugely. When I moved to London when I was 17, London tattoo world blew my mind. I got heavily tattooed when I was like 18, 19 by people who I admired when I was a kid, who I looked up to on the internet, on like Tumblr and subscriptions to Skin Deep magazine and stuff. So when I moved to London and I started getting tattooed by people that inspired me beyond measure. And you don't have that in mid Wales, but John is someone who is bringing the culture, the passion to mid Wales and to his apprentices and everyone who comes up under John. But John is a very important person, and also a very important person in tattooing, who deserves way more recognition than he does, because he is a true tattooer and true passion about art and tattooing. Okay, so behind me are 3 jackets that I embroidered. Making clothes has always been a part of me. I've always been screen printing. Embroidery is something that I found during COVID, but has kind of engulfed my world. Tattooing, drawing is part of my life every day, but embroidery is something that I do at night when, it's for me, it's something that I have that doesn't really involve anyone else, which I love. Embroidery for me is mine. And yeah, these 3 jackets, probably about 150 hours total on all 3. I do them on tour, after work, before work, in between clients. But yeah, embroidery for me is like mine. I love it.